Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to the Bremont Media YouTube channel. And today, as promised, we're going to be speaking a little bit further about putting on that entrepreneur hat, acknowledging that you are a business and that you need to step back and really write out that plan. Now, last video, we talked about the importance of doing it and a bit of a realistic view into the world of writing as an author. This can apply to any genre of writing, any career in the world of writing. However, we're just talking about book writing right now. And so, I just want to say that whether you're a freelance writer, a copywriter, editor, book author, spoken word poet, assignment writer, a lyricist, if you're branching out into multiple types of writing and multiple types of media, genres, or maybe you're branching out into various like media outlets that are a side branch to your writing that also generate an income flow. Whether you've just got one book that you haven't got published yet, but you plan to, regardless of where you fit into all of that, you're running a business. And before you go any farther, it's really, really important to take a few days, sometimes one day, sometimes it takes 3 days, and just to step back and clear the schedule and evaluate your situation and create that 5-year business plan. 5-year business plan, you're looking at 5 years, this year and 5 years. Okay, so the 5-year business plan actually has 2 sections. The first one is going to touch on everything from your financial needs analysis to your taxes. It's also going to touch on your operations. Operations, if you don't know what that is, that includes things like, do you need an area to package items for shipping? If you do, where is that table going to be? How are you going to set up that table? What kind of shipping supplies do you need? How are they going to be placed so that they're going to work the most effectively and efficiently for that task? Or, you want them so they're right there, and the scissor, whatever you need is right there and handy and right where your hand needs it at the moment that it needs it. So systemically, you're walking around, you're checking your working environments, you're looking at your operations, whether it's on your computer, in your office, in your workshop, in the garage, wherever it is that you are using for your work business. You want to make sure that the operations are set up. And while you're doing your operations, you're also looking at contingencies for their operations. Should this not work any longer? Should this break down? Should my printer fail? Who do I call? Where will I go? Because in the sense that if you have an emergency and you need that item and you're relying on, say, your printer, maybe this isn't a very good example, but let's just say you're relying on your printer to perform a certain task, and all of a sudden that task is just not happening on your computer, and you don't know anyone and you have no other option, and you're not sure if there's any business in town that can do these kinds of activities. And so you're stuck and you're scrambling. In the meantime, the clock is going tick, 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 and your deadline is approaching fast and you're starting to panic and stress. So to avoid all that, we're just going to have a quick browse about what's available in our local area and if it can be worked into our business for outsourcing should something happen to our operations, our processes in the business itself. And then we want to look at policies, in-house policies as well. We're going to be looking at examining our future goals, our future projects. These are the things I'd like to try. These are the tools I'd like to experiment with. I'd like to network with this particular outlet. So having those goals there in your 5-year plan allows you to then make the steps to make those goals come to fruition. Okay. So right now we're just stepping back and we're doing bullet form, bullet form, bullet form. These are the things that fit into those various genres. Your financial needs analysis, basically, what are your bills? What are your costs? So that you know that in your life at home, you and your home office, you know that these are your monthly costs and this is the income that you need to meet those costs. just gives you an idea as to where you are and what's going on with you financially and all that kind of stuff. And then the similar thing with the business as well. It might be less work to do with the business, but you need to do that as well. The taxes part comes in where you're measuring your space that you're using for the business. Any of the materials or equipment or furniture that you're using that you still have a receipt for or can get a receipt for, or you're going to buy, make sure you keep those receipts, even though you're not going to say this is something that belongs to the business because you want it, it's yours. It's not part of the business, it's your property. However, you're using it for the business, and so your tax accountant can then take a certain portion of the wear and tear on those machines and equipment and whatever, and it all plays a role when it comes to tax time. Very important information to know. Your measurement of your room and the space that you're using around the entire home for a variety of activities relating to your business. Then you convert that as to, okay, what's the actual whole square footage of your home? And then based on that, you work out the percentage of your business. So for our home, it uses 30% of the business of the home. Sorry, the business uses 30% of the home, and as much as 30% of the home can then be claimed on my taxes, my gas bill, my electricity bill, my water bill, my garbage bill, my recycling bill, right? All these things can be now 30% is business on the taxes. So it really helps you out when it comes tax time. You really need to know these things. Okay, so the information that you're going to be putting into your 5-year plan is going to be helping you with evaluating your current situation. So you're going to look at your current obstacles, your current strengths, your current talents, and your perceived challenges. Do you want me to say that again? You're including obstacles. What do you perceive is going to be a challenge in the future? Something that's blocking your way, and can you see and around, can you work around it in some way, or under it or over it? Can you do something that will help you get around that particular obstacle? What steps do you need to do now in order to be able to avoid or overcome that obstacle that you perceive being there in the future? You also want to look at your strengths, everything, your personality strengths, your current contacts, everything, all your strengths. And then you want to look at your talents. Oh, I'm really good at these things. I'm very confident at these things. You also want to look at, with these perceived challenges that I see coming up, or this lack of knowledge that I have, I can perceive that I'm going to need to take some courses, or I'm going to have to do some research in a particular thing, or maybe I'm going to have to find a mentor before I can take on that task. So knowing that, having that in your 5-year plan is really, really important. Now, you also want to know, like, who is going to be your accountant. Go talk to them, see if they have any feedback on things that maybe you haven't looked at. Maybe you have a restroom, a bathroom that your clients come in and use, and so a portion of the bathroom supplies can be claimed. Like, there's a lot of hidden things that can be claimed that your tax accountant is going to be able to help you with. So it's really important to have that information. Now, you also want to understand your record keeping processes. That's part of your operations and your processes is your record keeping. You want to have some sort of plan in place. What am I going to use? How am I going to do it? Just a basic understanding of that situation. You also want to look at the contingency and succession plans section of your business plan. And that's contingency is like, should something happen, what will I do in that case? Also, succession plans. Something happens to someone who's involved in that project, what happens to their half? Who inherits their half? Who am I now working with or dealing with? All of that kind of thing. So there are those types of plans. And then there's the annual action plan. And we're going to touch on all of those in future plans. But for right now, I want to just talk about the 5-year business plan basics. So basically, your 5-year business plan, the reason why you do a 5-year business plan is because your business itself, your needs, your desires, your goals, your hopes, your projects, they're going to evolve and change as time goes on. You'll be checking off things. Yeah, been there, done that, accomplished. Yeah, good. Oh, that didn't work. That's a failure. Not going to try that again. And you move on to the next thing. So up comes the next 5-year business plan, right? So the first few years of an author's career, you're going to have mainly your focus is going to be establishing market authority. Market authority includes things like your social platforms, your brand identity through things like your keywords, your logos, your imagery, design, colors, graphics, all of those kinds of things. You'll also find that you'll be fine tuning your personal goals as an entrepreneur, and the business mission and the business vision can evolve over time as well. You'll be exploring various ways of communicating various activities and policies to others, creating different types of contact lists, especially your initial contact lists, obtaining product reviews, media endorsements, don't forget media endorsements, and also service testimonials. And once you've established a strong marketing authority, you will then need to schedule the time to maintain and nurture and grow it. But the main focus, your first, at least your first year, and sometimes the first few years of your business, a majority of your time is spent building that marketing authority, being seen as the expert to go to. Your name is associated with the keywords that you want it associated with. When people think of you, they think of those keywords. So this is marketing authority, okay? The 5-year business plan is going to help you figure out what steps that you're going to need to do now or plan for doing in the future to prepare for any of those future goals, those future projects. For instance, you might have to take a course next year, or you might have to do research, as we talked about earlier, in order to learn how to, you might have to learn how to use certain tools, or find a mentor that you can approach who can help you develop the skills, or who can give you the advice that you need for the next project that you're working on, because they're an expert in that particular field. So now we understand the importance of that 5-year business plan. And so we're going to move into the next part, but I'll do that in another video. So we'll try to keep these short for you. I hope this has been helpful.